Hey guys, it's me. So, therapy today. Nothing too spectacular. It was a quick turnaround, but we did had a pretty decent discussion about stuff, and I made him feel uncomfortable at the end. You know, so there's that. But I'll get there. So we talked about we got on this tangent of my ex-wife. First off, and we talked about the different things that I did within that marriage that never seemed to please her, and kind of he kind of overarched in connecting her love, all the other relationships that I've had, and my mother into basically like I only seek relationships where I'm never going to be appreciated. And where I don't feel like I'm appreciated. You know, and I mean, he's got kind of a point. Growing up, I never felt appreciated or wanted in any regard, and so I kept trying to go above and beyond for, I don't know, my mother, my family, whatever you want to call it, only to be used and abused. It's kind of led me to a lot of the other like romantic relationships where I would go above and beyond and not be appreciated, and then go to a different relationship and I would go above and beyond and not be appreciated, and then another relationship where I would go above and beyond and not be replaced. And it's sort of like a vicious cycle. The ex-wife was the worst, the absolute worst, and it really um, really stuck with me. It always has, but it was kind of one of those things that was just constant. You know, it wasn't something that I felt like I had to get over because it was something that I couldn't change personally. um, Even though I wanted, because when I'm in a relationship, um, I'm usually like, okay, what do you need to be happy? What can we do so that you will be happy? What do you want to do? What do I need to do to make sure that you get what you want? Um, and even though I would at times speak up about myself and be like, hey, this is kind of what I need, it's kind of what I want, I was always kind of shot down. And I would bring up the fact of, you know, like when I got to those little tiny breaking points, which everybody knows are out there, I would say things like, so I guess I don't matter, in hopes that they would realize, oh, maybe he does matter. Maybe we need to talk about things. Needless to say, I didn't. Which didn't help my self esteem or my confidence in any way. or my self-worth, because nothing I did was good enough. But my ex-wife was really the worst when it came to that. We talked about when she was a stay-at-home mom and wouldn't help me do anything around the house after me working 10, 12-hour days at a place which completely destroyed me. I would come home and have to clean and do other stuff. The only thing she would do was cook, and when she cooked, of course, I took the kids to make sure they wouldn't bother her. But I would get in trouble with her whenever I decided to start cleaning or doing something that needed to be gotten done, because she felt like I was being bad to her because I was just getting stuff done. I wasn't doing it violently. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't screaming. I never really got into arguments with her or anyone. I try not to argue in relationships. I like to have conversations, but I don't like to argue. So, we talked about how, in a lot of ways, that my mother and my childhood is kind of the overarching root cause of what I expect a relationship is, which is, a man doesn't matter. As long as a man does everything he can to make the woman happy, that's how life should be. There's this outdated history that happy wife, happy life. Man just has to work hard, doesn't have any feelings, can't say anything, just has to keep doing. And that's just how a lot of us was raised. But me being sort of separated, because again, nothing I did was good enough to be included in the really family dynamic. Except for when somebody needed me to do something. It sort of swayed my whole relationship bias. That if I was doing something for someone to be happy, I was doing my part in a relationship, even if it meant destroying me in the end. But that didn't mean I gave up. Because I don't give up. I just wait for people to give up on me. Because I still love pretty hard every single person that I've ever said that I love. I still do, in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, I don't have any romantic feelings for my ex-wife anymore. At all. But that comes from a lot of broken glass and barbed wire around my heart. And then we got on the topic of religion. It's probably a big no-no because he's a Christian counselor and he's a very big advocate of God, and I kind of made him feel uncomfortable because there's an idea, right, which I've proposed to my father on many countless occasions. That's kind of how we got to talking about religion, is because I was talking about my dad, who I guess is now a born again Christian, but not like a Christian on how a Christian should kind of be, but a conservative Christian. You know, we talked about how me and my dad try not to talk about politics or religion because he can't bring a good argument. So, I gave him the paradox that I give to my dad. You know, because I use my dad's experience as an investigator for the military. And I ask him, if you arrested somebody who murdered, you know, somebody or multiple people, and that person's excuse was, well, God told me to do it. I was like, do you condemn them or do you believe them? You know, and my dad's like, well, yeah, you'd condemn him. And I'd be like, why? His belief in God is as strong as yours is, right? Maybe God did talk to him. God talks to lots of people. Of course, the coming back argument is, well, God wouldn't tell somebody to murder anyone. And I'm like, have you read the Bible? He's killed lots of people. He's ordered lots of people. The Crusades, Sodom and Gomorrah, Noah. I mean, he literally wiped out the entire planet except for Noah, if we're going to believe it. Who says that God wouldn't tell one singular person, hey, these people are demons, kill them? Because he's done it before. Look at the Salem witch trials. If we're to believe that God talks to people truthfully, then that has to go into an account. Because at some point in time, our belief has to separate on either we believe in God and that he speaks to people, or God doesn't speak to people. So this person says God talks to him, and he murders 10 people in a church and says, oh, they were bad people. God told me to kill them. I mean, how can we say he's lying? Could we say that the devil was talking to him? Well, of course we could. But again, God has killed many people in his name. God has ordered other people to kill in his name. Why would one person not in today's society? Because if God is still omnipotent and omniscient, why is he not actively playing a role in today's times like he did way back when he made himself known? You don't have an answer. Belief is the most stubborn thing on the planet. And it requires an unconscious sort of blinding faith in something that isn't real. But we want it to be real, so we believe. And collective thought makes it that way. Religion as a whole is subservitude to a morality that nobody wants to belong to. So I made him feel kind of uncomfortable, which usually happens. But that's okay. He'll just know not to bring up God around me again. You know, we did talk about love too for a little bit, but since I haven't heard from her since she got what she wanted, there wasn't much to talk about. So that was the recap for today. I won't see him for 2 weeks. So anything can happen between now and then. Thanks for sticking around. More content to come on my one day off, but probably not much because I am exhausted. I gotta take my testosterone shot and take my antidepressant. One will make me go, woo! And the other one will make me go, oh, I'm gonna go lay down for a moment. But a nice nap would be good. So until then, be kind to each other. I'll see you in the next video.